3 job offers, 1 consulting client, 1 faculty role. I never applied to any of them. 1 LinkedIn post did that, and more than once. I'm going to show you exactly how organic LinkedIn works right now, not the version everyone was teaching 2 years ago. The platform changed under all of us this year, and most people don't know it yet. If you learn this properly, you don't need to apply for the next opportunity because it finds you. Before I explain any of it, here is how this actually began. It wasn't a strategy. My mom kept every certificate I ever got, every badge, every little acknowledgement in a folder, and she would always say, keep everything, you'll need it one day. When I first found LinkedIn, I thought, okay, finally I can do this digitally instead of paper folders, so I just put all of it out there. My projects, my clubs, my societies, a record of what I was doing during school and during uni. And that was the entire reason I started posting. Not reach, not a brand, but a diary. Then a startup reached out. They needed someone who could reach student communities, and I was head of clubs and societies at the time, and it was all sitting on my profile, public, searchable, and they just messaged me. I hadn't applied, and I didn't know that they even existed. That was the first time I understood something I've built my entire career since. LinkedIn works even when you're not on it. Here's what most people get wrong. They think LinkedIn's best days were 3 years ago, that the influencers already won, and that the window is closed. It's the opposite. The window literally just reopened and almost nobody walked through it yet. Let me show you why. Let me give you the actual scale of what you're standing in front. LinkedIn just passed 1.3 billion members. 65 million of them are decision makers, and 10 million are C-level executives. Here's the one that changes how you should think about your time on the app. LinkedIn users have twice the buying power of the average web audience, and the majority of them say that they will look up your profile before they ever even take a meeting with you. So this isn't a numbers game where you need millions of followers, it's a precision game. A small, specific audience of the right people who happen to be the people with the budget and the authority to say yes. Here's the part that stats don't fully capture though. The people watching you on LinkedIn aren't scrolling for entertainment. They're looking for someone who can solve a problem they actually have. On Instagram, people follow you because you're interesting. On LinkedIn, they follow you because you know something that they need. And that's a completely different relationship, and is why a creator with, let's say, 3,000 LinkedIn followers can close more business in a month than someone with 500,000 followers somewhere else. Let's talk a bit about what's actually working right now in 2026 and what are some of the new updates. Plain text posts alone are having a harder time. Engagement is down, but that does not mean you need to switch formats to survive. I still post mostly text and photo, and it's what works for me and my audience. Carousels work incredibly well for some people, they're just not my thing. And that is fine. You have to match the format of how you actually think and talk, and not whatever is trending. That's why it's so important to experiment with different types of posts and then find what works best for your audience. What actually matters more than format is that if you're sharing a link, you have to put it as first comment, not the post itself. A link inside your post gets your reach out every single time. And this is the one to really hear. LinkedIn is now actively able to tell when something sounds generic. They even made an AI slot button. So written by nobody in particular for everybody in general is something that could get buried. If it could only have come from you, your actual experience, your actual take, it gets pushed. And that's the platform telling you exactly what wins now. Specificity, not format, not polish, but being very specific at a specific thing. At university, everyone around me was grinding through applications, cover letters, boundless rejection emails, LinkedIn Easy Apply at midnight, and following up on interviews that led nowhere. Genuinely talented people going completely unnoticed. Meanwhile, I was getting messages from companies I hadn't even approached, hadn't applied to, hadn't even heard of. I didn't understand it at first, but then I did. The people applying were invisible. The people posting were findable. And being findable is worth more than any application you'll ever send. And it's not just for job applications, right? It's also for attracting clients, because then the first real client came. A recruitment agency based in the GCC, 2 co-founders, they had 8 people on their team, and they found my profile, read content, and then they just sent me a DM, asked me if I was offering LinkedIn consulting. And at that time, I hadn't, not officially, actually. You know, I would have done it for my classmates and friends for free between lectures, but a formal service? Not really. But I said yes. I said yes and then figured out how to deliver it. It took me one Zoom call and they hired me on spot. Now sit with that for a second. They had already decided before the call. They had read the content, looked at my profile, and the trust was built before I even said a word. The sale happened before the conversation actually did. That project, profiling a team of 8 across different specialisms, paid more than anything I earned up to that date. From one DM, from a profile I built because I liked keeping a record of things. And then there was this post. That changed everything at scale. I wrote about being young in a professional room, that people didn't take you as seriously, and that feeling of having something real to say but being told to, wait, get more experience, be patient. I got 3,000 followers in under 24 hours that day, and not because it was clever, but because it was true, and a lot of people recognized themselves in it. And that's the other half of organic LinkedIn. Expertise and honesty working really well together. Not just what you know, but who you are, but who you actually are. So what's the actual mechanism? What actually makes this work? One shift changed everything for me, and it sounds simple until you try it. Stop writing for your audience, but start creating for that one person. The moment I started writing to that one specific person with one specific problem, everything changed. The content got more precise, more honest, and this is the part that surprises people. It reached more people, not fewer. When you write for everyone, you resonate for no one. When you write for that one person with total precision, everyone who shares that experience feels found. Second thing, consistency still matters, but not the way people think. It's not about posting every single day for the algorithm's sake. It's that the algorithm now measures how long someone actually stays on your post. Whether they save it, whether they leave an actual comment, not just whenever they scroll past and hit like, but showing up on your post. So you showing up consistently with things worth staying for is what actually builds a presence that lives in someone's week, even when you're not in their feed. Third, the mistake I see most, copying someone else's voice. Not just their post format, their angle, but their phrasing, their energy, and it's instantly recognizable and it never works. Because on LinkedIn right now, specifically, your authenticity isn't a soft asset, it's actually the thing that Algo is now built to detect and reward. And so do people. Nobody else can write what you actually leave, so do that. I want you to do 3 things this week. 1, fix your headline. Today, most headlines, they describe a task, for example, marketing specialist for startups. And that is not a headline, that's a job title. So flip to the outcome you actually deliver. For example, I drive growth for startups through strategic marketing. What type of marketing? Outcome, not a task. That's the whole shift. 2, write 1 post this week. 1, your real experience written to that one person, specific enough that somebody who reads it thinks that, oh, that's actually me. 3, know your topics before you write anything. I use what I call a content matrix. It's a short list of pillars I actually have authority or experience to speak on, and then the formats I can put each onto. Text post, photo post, a longer breakdown, whatever fits. Same idea, repurposed in different ways. And we're gonna go deeper on building yours in the future video, but for now, just start noticing which 2 or 3 topics you could talk about without running out of things to say. And actually spend more time on the platform, reading, commenting properly, being present. You can't build this from the outside looking in, you can just schedule and don't spend time on the platform. The opportunity is real and the window is wide open again, and most people don't know that it reopened. Next week, I will walk you through exactly how to set up your profile so that when the right person lands on it, they don't leave. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Both Worlds newsletter is in the description. I go deeper there every week. I'll see you in the next one.